Today's idea for dinner is an East Asian comfort food staple. We're making Japanese curry chicken from scratch. And we'll share more than just a recipe. There's a zen of rice prep and a traditional knife skill that will totally level up your kitchen game. That's ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome to the kitchen. I'm Angie Corley, and my guest today is Chef Ken Lumpkin, and he brought something so special today. This is not just a recipe, Ken. This is a tribute to your mom.
That is correct. That's correct. This is my mom's favorite dish. We ate this a lot, especially I grew up in Memphis, and it would get quite chilly. Yes, and that's my mother, and next to her is my grandmother, and her younger brother and her older brother.
Beautiful. This is a family affair here.
Yeah, yes it is. So basically the recipes that I always use come straight from my grandmother to my mom to me now. So it's 3 generations.
How wonderful is that? Do you feel pressure with that?
No, not at all. It's not at all. You know, I'm just happy that I'm able to, carry on the tradition and pass things on like this as well.
That is wonderful. Now, Chef Ken not only worked in Japan, but also in Jamaica, across the states, New Orleans, Dallas, and now calling Sarasota his home.
That's right.
And he oversees the Mediterranean-inspired menu at Siva at the Art Ovation Hotel. But today's recipe is something anyone could make, which is great. And if you know, there's a few chef secrets that I'm going to pull out, including something as simple as you rinse rice how many times?
We rinse rice 3 times.
3 times. 3 times. Why is that?
So, white rice in particular is milled down, right, from the germ all the way down. So that's one of the main reasons is there could be dust, wash off the extra starch. And honestly, I've found like little pebbles in my rice before. So it's always good to wash and make sure, and as you wash and rinse, look at your rice.
Okay.
Make sure there's not any bad grains and there's not any little pebbles.
Wow.
And then you should wash until the water becomes clear.
Okay, all right, so at least 3 times. We might need to do some more.
Right.
So that's what's happening over here. You've rinsed the rice, and it's kind of hanging out, if you will, right?
That's right. So we let the rice rest as well, because as you clean rice, you activate the starch. And so if you don't want your rice to be too gummy, you need to let it rest. And it's a dried product, so it needs a few minutes to absorb the water.
Wow.
So that way when you steam it, it's nice, light, and fluffy, and you have individual kernels.
That is such a chef's secret. I've never known you need to rest rice. All right, so we let that rice rest for approximately how long?
At least 20 minutes.
At least 20 minutes,
okay. At least 20 minutes.
Noted. All right, now I see you've got some wonderful, incredible spices out here that we're gonna get in this pan. We have toasted fennel seeds?
Fennel seeds and cardamom.
Wow, and how long did you toast this for?
Just for about 5 minutes. Once again, it's a dried product, so it kind of goes to sleep, and so when you heat it up, it activates the oil. It doesn't have to be like blackened or anything like that. It just needs to kind of wake it up is basically what you're doing.
It's awake. I'm awake. This smell is dynamic.
Yes.
Okay, so what's our next step now?
So the next step is we're going to grind up these spices.
Okay.
Because this is what we're going to use to make our curry mix. The spice mix. So I put a bay leaf in there, kind of crumble that up a little bit just to break that up, and then I'll just spoon this in.
Okay.
You don't want to go directly off the heat with this too. You want to let it cool after toasting for about 5 minutes or so. Probably let it cool for 3 or 4, so it's not absolutely hot, and then you just grind it up here.
And as interesting. I used to think that bay leaves had to be taken out, like they weren't edible or digestible, or they were poisonous or something.
No, not at all.
I love that.
You can actually grind them up and eat them just fine. And as you can see, I'm just using a household coffee mill to grind up my spices. And that's all we're doing.
Could we buy this, Chef Ken, or is this something you say it's so much better, which I'm sure it is, to make it yourself, but could we go to the store and maybe pick up these spices?
You can go to a little store and buy this. This is an S&B brand, but as you can see, this is Oriental curry powder. And so basically what this is all of this that we're getting ready to do.
Oh, great.
There we are. We'll go right into this mixing bowl because we're going to mix all the spices together. I'll tamp off a little bit of the extra. There's a little bit that's stuck to this top here.
Love that. Get it all that goodness. Got to get that in. I see all the different spices, different roll.
Right.
Tell us about some of the rolls of these spices and maybe the fragrances.
So in particular, this is turmeric here. That's part of the curry. That kind of gives curry its yellow color. And this is paprika. That also helps with the color as well. Though,
Beautiful.
even though these are tasty and delicious, but the main reason those are in there is for the color.
For the color, okay.
And the rest of these spices, like this is ground clove, this is cumin. Here we go. This is a little bit of allspice, fenugreek. These spices, these are the spices that gives it the flavor or the fragrance that you taste when you make curry powder like this. So all these different spices. Here we go. Little cinnamon in there as well. And then these here are known as the garam masala part of the curry powder. These bring spices, the temperature heat to the curry.
Okay, not overwhelming heat, but just
correct.
Heat.
It's very little. So like that's just chili.
That smells amazing.
Chili powder. This is a little cayenne, so it has a little bit of oomph in there. This is ginger.
Love some ginger.
Right, and some black pepper.
Okay.
And a little bit of white pepper. And then a little bit of this. This is just plain red pepper with no spice. And so this is your basic curry mix.
Now, once we make this and can we store this? Because
you certainly
I'm sure we're not going to use all of that in our dish today.
Right. So like you can use an airtight container.
Okay.
And it'll store in your pantry, for a month or so, or you can put it in your freezer and it'll last 6 months in there. And what's good about this curry powder, even if you don't use it, all of it, you can use it for anything else. So like if you want to throw on some chicken to throw on the grill, or you want to mix up a little pork with it, make with some coconut milk. So you can actually turn this curry into a different style of curry.
Wow.
So it has multiple purposes. This spice blend.
I love that. The smell, I wish you could smell it through the TV. It smells incredible. Yeah. And it's something unique and something different too.
Right.
What a great way to up the dinner recipe.
Exactly.
I love that. So listen, to make Chef Ken's mom's favorite idea for dinner, grab this recipe at our website, dinnerdeas.com. And to find it without having to type, just pull out that phone, open up your camera, point it at the TV, and if you're in photo mode, you'll see a link that'll pop up. Click on that and you'll go directly to the full recipe, all right? That QR code is right there. Now we're making the roux. So you melted the butter.
Correct.
And you're seeing that you put the flour in.
Right.
Mixing it up and kind of incorporating it. And that's, what are we looking for? Is that going to thicken the curry?
Yes, it will. And what we're going to do is we're going to make like a tan roux here. So right now it's at the blonde stage because we just put it in. You want to cook the flour so it doesn't have that strong flour taste.
Right. How long does that take approximately?
So you can cook it for about 5 minutes and it'll get rid of the flour taste, but we're probably going to cook this about 20 minutes-ish to kind of get that dark tan color is what we're looking for.
I love that. We're going to take a quick break here. Come back and Chef Ken is going to share how he slices chicken. Yes. The traditional way and why it makes it better curry. It's all ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. We're cooking up curry today, a Japanese curry chicken, thanks to my special guest, Chef Ken. Now, Ken, before the break, I know you are doing your roux, but we did a little bit more than that. We made our incredible spice mix, which you'll see in front of Ken, which is a whole combination of dynamic spices all put together, probably ones you already have sitting in the pantry, toasting and grinding some of the seeds and then mixing it all together to start this roux, which Ken is stirring, getting ready here with that melting of the butter, adding the flour and letting it get a gorgeous dark tan color, which Ken has taken about 20 minutes or so?
About
20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes.
Totally changed what we saw.
Yes.
So now that the roux is done, what is next?
So the next, so what I did here, this is like 3.5 ounces of butter and 3.5 ounces of flour, so 1 to 1 on the flour.
Okay.
So that gave me that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add probably about 4 tablespoons of the curry powder to the roux, and this becomes our curry roux. So now, at this point, may I?
Yes.
Is that this is now the curry powder that we want, and now you can smell it right there.
My goodness.
Yes. So here we are. That's just like this. Now you can take this and you can pour it into like a glass container, and you can let it set, meaning like put it in the cooler.
Yes.
Then at that point you can break it off into blocks. Or if you don't have time for that, we also have this. These are curry blocks, just like this.
Okay.
Once it's cool. So these are this is a mild version, a medium hot version, and a hot version. So you can I even picked this up at a Walmart in a smaller version of this.
Yes.
So that way, if you don't have time to make a roux and make your curry roux, you can always get
Just
it.
buy one ready-made.
Right.
I like this, but I see what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Now let's get over to the rice because
It's
you
ready
have
to go.
rinsed 3 times. Thank you
Right.
for teaching me that and letting it rest. So we're just gonna put this in the rice maker
And then push it.
well,
and
that
then,
couldn't be easier.
Yeah, now it is a matter of setting and forgetting. Now it'll shut itself off and it'll be ready and delicious
And you love
rice.
a rice cooker.
Yes.
You probably use this every day.
Yes, I do.
And is it equal parts water?
Yes,
to rice?
one to one. Yes.
Okay.
So after rinsing 3 times, I dump it and then I add enough water, 1 to 1 to what my rice was. So that was 3 cups. So there's 3 cups of water.
All
in
right,
there.
I'm ready for this moment. I'm putting on these gloves here.
So
I've
what we're
waited all
doing
day.
next is cutting the chicken for the curry.
All right.
And so as you can see, I have some already pre-cut. But here's your
Now I'm
piece.
scared of this chicken here. Now
Ah,
we're
you
going to
don't
cut
need
it in a special way. The fat and cleaning it. I know there's cleaning chicken is important, right?
Right. So I typically rinse my chicken.
Okay.
Just like any other person.
Okay.
And you should.
Okay.
Just because there's no telling,
Exactly.
what has happened. It's better to rinse off that stuff. And so like.
Okay. Now
what
what's this cut called here?
This cut called in Japanese is sogigiri. So kiri is a Japanese word for cut, K-I-R-I.
Okay.
But in Japanese language, as you're speaking, it's about the rhythm, right? So that's why it's sogigiri. You change it to
Sogigiri.
right.
Sogigiri.
And so
Okay.
basically all that is a bias cut. So you'll turn your knife on a bias and you'll just cut like this. And what that does, it gives more surface space to your chicken.
Okay.
So you're gonna just cut it like that. A little sideways, just like that.
And why do you want more surface on the chicken? Why is that important
so
for the
it
dish?
helps it cook even and faster.
Oh, okay. How am I doing in this sogigiri?
You're doing pretty good.
Not bad, not
yeah,
bad,
So
not bad.
So like if you think about it, if you cut straight down, I'll show an example here. See how little space you have?
Right.
But then with the sogigiri, look at how much more
Yes.
space that you have. And then after that, we'll just, once again, do the same thing and cut it into a sogigiri dice, per se. Go crosshatch from where it was, just like that.
Oh, that one. I did it on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
And little chunks, if you
Yeah,
will. Okay.
Exactly, and we're set just like that.
That's why you're the chef.
Exactly. I've done this once or twice.
Oh, once or twice. While Ken is getting the sogigiri.
Yes.
Hopefully I said that right. All right, so now we've got it all chopped in the right dimensions and cut up. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to add another crucial cut, this time for carrots.
That's right.
Gotta have some veggies in there too. It's all ahead on Dinner DeeAs. All right, welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Now we're making a meal that Mom used to make. This man's mom, Chef Ken Lumpkin from Siva in Sarasota's Art Ovation Hotel, who is here with us to make a family recipe for Japanese chicken curry, traditional comfort food that you can make. Now, before the break, we added the roux and we made it as the base for the curry with the spice mix we made earlier, taking it off the heat while we cook the rice, leaving it resting, which takes about 20 minutes in the rice cooker. Then Chef Ken shared a traditional Japanese method of slicing the chicken we use called
Sogigiri.
there it is, which is the art of cutting the chicken at a little angle there to increase the surface area. And then we brown that during the break, adding a little salt and pepper and adding some onions also, which Ken, you're in here. So what is next? Because the smell, it's intoxicating.
The next is to add our water.
All right.
So we're either going to, you can use stock if you'd like to, but we're going to use water since it's the simplest. We'll just add that
Everyone's
in there.
got that at home? Right?
Yes, yeah. Right out of the tap.
And how much water do we put? About 2 cups? Or so?
That's about a quart. So this is about
quart.
four cups of water
Okay.
for the batch that we're making right now. We used about a pound and a half of chicken thigh meat, and 2 medium-sized onions is what we have in here right now.
Wonderful. All right, so we've got that stirred now. Is it time for that wonderful roux that's staring me in the face?
It is. It is time for the roux.
Okay.
So typically, let me see. Yeah, we have the little ladle.
Okay.
So we'll put a little bit in the ladle, like so. And then we'll add this to the water, like this, and let the water kind of dissolve that roux in the ladle. That's typically how we do that.
Wow.
So that way.
And it just kind of dissolves in all
Yeah.
those spices, and we have that
Yeah.
whole list of recipe for you on our website at DeeAs.com, and
Yeah.
the smell is just getting better and
Yeah.
better.
It certainly is.
Okay.
So we adding the veg here.
Okay.
Right, potatoes, the onions are in there. Now we have the bell peppers, and then just before we do the carrots, because they don't take as long to cook, then
Wow.
I'll show you how to cut the
Oh my goodness.
the
I see
carrots.
leftovers ready. How does
Yes.
this freeze?
This
And-
freezes great. This freezes just like chili. So yeah, so feel free to, there we go, turn that down so it's not,
Love that. So we let this cook about how long?
I would say 10 or 15
10 or
minutes
15
until,
minutes?
until your veg and everything is tender.
All right, we got one more veg to put in here.
Yes, and this
Wonderful
is the carrot.
carrots.
So
All right, do we have
I'm gonna-
another technique here?
We are doing, it's called a rangiri, which is called a round cut. You don't have to cut yours in half.
Okay.
I'm cutting mine in half so it's the same size as yours.
Oh, okay.
So there's a very simple procedure or a cut. So you're
Okay.
going to basically cut 45 degrees like that.
Okay.
And then you're going to turn it where the 45 degrees is facing up, and you'll turn it again. Rangiri is a round cut. That's what the Japanese.
Rangiri.
Yes, rangiri, right.
Rangiri. It's
And
a
see
lot
how
of
we're-
rolling of some.
Right, of ours.
Vowels,
Right,
yes.
exactly. Japanese language. That's beautiful. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
yeah, just like that. Like I said, 45 degrees. When it turn the face up and just keep going just like that.
Now, is this to make it pretty? Is it just something special?
Both, it's aesthetically pleasing, and you give more surface space for the carrot to cook.
Oh, I tell you.
So there's
Turn,
it's a dual.
Can I eat this one?
Yes,
Okay.
you can. Very good. There we are. All set. Looking
They are
beautiful.
wonderfully sweet.
Yes, they are good. And then we just take these. These are the ones that we had pre-cut already. Boom. Just stick them in there. And now we are just waiting until this is done. One thing I do want to say about the rice is that typically it'll shut itself off. And when it shuts itself off, I let it rest for 5 minutes, and then I
Okay.
come over here and get a paper towel
Okay.
like this, and I run a paper towel in between the lid like this. So that way, as the lid sweats,
Yes,
it catches
that
the
water.
right, and your rice doesn't become soggy.
I love that.
so
The
that's-
tips keep coming.
Yeah.
Well, while we stir this, get the rice ready, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Chef Ken is going to show us how to get the consistency of the curry just right. The mom-approved method, shall we say.
Exactly.
It's ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs with Chef Ken Lumpkin, who is with us from Siva in Sarasota, making a meal inspired by, his mom. I love this. It's a Japanese chicken curry, one of her favorites, and it is nearly ready. Oh my goodness. Quick reminder, as the smell is enveloping me, of what we did before the break. So we added water to the chicken and onion. We browned it, ladling in that curry roux, then added the potatoes, bell peppers, and then learned another knife technique called...
Rangiri.
That's right, to cut those carrots at that 45-degree angle, adding them and leaving it to simmer for about how long?
About 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes.
Yep.
And wow, it is rich, it is colorful, it's dynamic. Now, if we wanted to make it a little thinner, a little thicker, will we do what? Add a little more or less roux?
Right. So like if you wanted it thicker, then you would just add a little more roux
Okay.
and continue to cook it a little bit. As it reduces a little bit, it would also thicken. If perchance you put too much roux in there and it was way too thick, not to your liking, just add a little water, bring it back up to heat,
Okay.
and then it'll thin right on out. And that's how you adjust. And then at that point, you would just add your salt or pepper, whatever you feel like you need to adjust the seasoning. So you can control the thickness
Yes.
with a little water or extra roux, and you can control the salt and pepper to add your seasoning to it. The same reason that we used unsalted butter when we made the roux.
Okay, it's time to plate up.
Okay.
It is time.
It is
I've
time.
waited long enough.
No, right.
Okay, so
it's-
we have our rice that you
right.
just put in that beautiful
It's a beautiful rice.
bowl.
that
Okay.
we made.
It's so bright. It's all
Perfect
that
little
rinsing and resting.
Right, all the perfect little kernels, and we just add a little bit here, about halfway down. Let's get some green in there too. And so you can use whatever vegetables you want with this, just to let you know. Like the vegetables I use, the carrots, the onions, the peppers, and the potatoes, that's just what I like.
Right.
So you could put peas in there. You can put whatever you would like there in the vegetables. You can add mushrooms. I've seen people use eggplant in there. So it's readily available. It's your oyster.
Okay. Well, let's go on because
Right.
I've been waiting. How many minutes? All right. You going to join me?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to start with this wonderful roux.
Yes. And a little chicken.
Yes.
Oh man, this looks great.
All
this
right.
looks great. This looks great. Just like Mom.
Oh my goodness.
That's very good.
That is dynamic. It is this wonderful roux that's not too spicy. The flavors are unbelievable. It's
Yes.
bright. It's fresh. I like the thickness, a little bit of that gravy.
Yep.
The veggies, which I've had. The rice is just dynamic, but wow.
Yep.
If you're thinking Japanese curry, it's not spicy, it's flavorful.
Exactly.
It's not hot heat. Ooh, my mouth's on fire. I need more. Would Mom be proud of this dish?
Mom. Well, my mom's my biggest credit, of course. But yes, I think she would be very, very pleased with this dish.
Oh.
It's delicious.
It is unbelievable, and you will be too. Thanks again, Chef Ken. Thank you so much. This
You're welcome.
was dynamic. Thanks to Mom for sharing this. And
Yep.
please grab this recipe for the Japanese chicken curry at our website, dinnerdeas.com. We also have a link to the Sarasota restaurant to see us as well, where he is the executive chef. We will definitely be down there. I'm Angie Corley. We'll see you next time with more ideas for dinner. Now, go get cooking, and let's get to more eating.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is great.